When I look back on the last 25 years of all the work that God's done at W, it has been simply a story of God's amazing grace. And Sharon and I have been so blessed to be part of the journey. I believe the theme of W's story has always been about transforming generations. Christ has been changing us, sending us out, multiplying us as a people. And while we're growing up together in this loving, spiritual big family we affectionately call W. What has made W special has always been its people. Our people grew up together and now serving Christ in various parts of the city. Christ has made us fruitful, and I can't wait to see God's continuing transforming work for the next 25 years to come.
实在感谢神，不是因为我一个人，当时有一群人肯出来，出来，他们真是经过祷告，也经过细心的思考，他们也的确出来，也不回头看，他们都是肯去，肯付上代价，不去讲到我们从前是怎么好，付出了多少。我的期望，我们在不同的地方都进行了一些开路的。现在我们虽然在不同的地方去做短宣，我希望神真是照着他的计划，无论是什么种族的人，无论是什么地方言语的人，我们既然去到那里去做布道的工作、短宣的工作，希望在那里也能够建立我们的所去到那边的教会，能够使那边有福音的广传，基督耶稣能够被高举，神的名能够得荣耀。
You know, I can still remember 25 years ago getting in a U-Haul with my father and picking up a bunch of chairs from HCC, loading it up and bringing it to the office where WHCC was first planted. It is so exciting to see the church that I grew up in celebrate its 25th year anniversary. It is the place where David Chu, as my youth pastor, really taught me the basic foundations of my Christian faith, which has led me to where I am today. Today I am the pastor of student ministry at Cypress Bible Church, and it is great knowing that the church that I was originally a part of growing up is celebrating its 25th year anniversary, and I know that God will continue to bless you all as you continue to do His work to grow His kingdom and to make His name famous. So love you guys at WHCC. God bless you all.
It's hard to believe that it's been 25 years since WHCC has been planted. I remember in my early high school years, God used W to instill a heart of service, a sense of missions, and just a desire to know the scriptures more. And when we first heard about the Katy plant, both Alicia and I got excited because we saw that God was moving in Katy, and we just wanted to be a part of it. And even now, even though my immediate family goes to different churches in Houston, we can all find our roots back at W. Both my parents are involved in serving in the children's ministry and on the church council and the leadership of WHCC. Both my brothers attend Access, and that was a church plant of W. Alicia and I are involved in the leadership here in Katy. And so it's great to see that there's just this legacy that's been built because of W. And it's our prayer that God will continue to grow that legacy and draw more people to His kingdom.
WHCC was started when I was in high school, and my parents were part of the church planting committee, so I reluctantly followed along as we moved out to the west side. Even though I was really hesitant to join at first, I realize now that W has played a huge role in the way that my faith was shaped and in the journey that God has brought me through.
While we were both in Chicago, Grace and I started dating. But when she graduated from college, being the mobile bachelor that I was, I decided to follow her down to Houston, and we eventually got married shortly thereafter. Naturally, W became my home church, as it was for Grace, and Grace was serving in the worship ministry while I began helping out with small groups.
We are always really thankful for the time that we had at W, for the friendships that we made there through Meta, for Pastor Dave and his leadership and his friendship, and just being able to worship in a multi-generational, multicultural environment.
As comfortable as we were at W, though, we eventually felt God's leading, His calling to stretch our faith. So when Pastor Ted Law came up with this vision to plant the Access community, we decided to go along and help him with that. So it's been about 9 years since we started the church, And admittedly, it's been a time of a lot of personal trial and challenges to our marriage and other relationships. But through it all, we've witnessed God's faithfulness in bringing us to a place of greater contentment and peace and transformation.
We're just so thankful for the part that W played in our life's journey, and you guys have blessed us immensely, and we are excited for you as you celebrate this milestone, and we trust and know that God will use you to continue to bless others.
因为工作，凤美和我1997年来到休斯顿，西区教会成为了我们属灵的大家庭。我也进入小组和成人主日学的侍奉，神的话让我心里充满喜乐。为了更专心的侍奉神，我持续了工作。2004年回到台湾接受神学装备，不但能陪伴我们年老的父母，也开始在教会实习。回台湾之前，王永龙和李志涵夫妇带着我们在北区开始了第一个家庭小组。因着北区的呼声，毕业后神带领我们回到休斯顿。2012年的复活节主日，在西区教会的差遣之下，北区教会正式成立。神让 New Hope Christian Church 不断经历生命蜕变的大能。目前聚会已经超过200人，因着西区职堂的意向，使神的帐幕在北区扩展。
W has long been more than a place of worship each Sunday. It's been a church family to me. It's where I met my closest friends, and they remain close today. God was doing a good work in my heart through the leaders and pastors at W. My church family taught me huge lessons on humility, extending grace, and sacrifice. It's hard to believe that God chose me to be a youth minister at W. It hasn't always been easy, but by far the best part is seeing kids change over time. To see the high school students I once taught 15 years ago, now with families of their own, serving the Lord in communities, parenting biblically, and even becoming pastors and missionaries is so rewarding. What's really special is that some of my former youth have returned and now serve alongside with me on my youth ministry team. It's a tremendous gift to stay in something long enough to see one generation transformed from child to disciple, to coworker, to mentor and friend. I am now learning so much from those whom I once taught. 10 years ago, a guy named Mike Chung was at W visiting friends, and although our paths did not cross that day, through a series of events, he became the amazing husband I now have today, along with my 2 kids, Cole and Noel. W has really been a life-giving, love-inspiring church from the beginning. The human tendency is to be discouraged by what we do not see happening. But if we look around us, we will see faith being passed on from one generation to another. And I believe the best is yet to come.